My title is, Where is Your Faith? This is Luke chapter 8. Obviously, it's about the disciples in a boat with Jesus during a storm. And I'm going to read verses 24 to 25. The disciples went and woke him, saying, Master, Master, we're going to drown. He got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waters. The storm subsided, and all was calm. Where is your faith? He asked his disciples. In fear and amazement, they asked one another, Who is this? He commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him. What's most interesting about this text here, in stormy times, how do you act in faith? How can you have the fearless ability to look at the storm and not be so scared? It's interesting that when they say, Master, Master, we're going to drown, Jesus says, where is your faith? And it's very clear that faith is the opposite of that panic. So how do we get that faith so we are able to not panic in the face of storms? And let's just notice two or three things here. First of all, when Jesus says, where is your faith? That shows that faith is probably not what most of us think it is. It's a deliberate action. Notice Jesus does not say, when he says, where is your faith? He does not say, you don't have any faith, or why don't you have any faith? Notice, that's very interesting, because they were showing a lack of faith at the moment, but he doesn't say, oh, you lack faith. He doesn't do that. We mostly think that faith is sort of automatic. It's like, it is like a heater, that if it's cold enough outside, the heater just comes on. And most of us think that if we have faith and panic, and storms come up, it'll just come on. And if it doesn't just come on, then I guess we just don't have faith. And I have people say this to me all the time. They say, oh, I wish I had your faith, or I wish I had that person's faith, as if it's something that you catch, or it's something that's just in you. But this says, no, he doesn't say you don't have faith. He says, where is your faith? Get it out. It ought to be here. And which means it takes deliberate action, number one. Number two, it's faith not in general, but about Jesus. Because, you see, they come to him and they say, who is this at the end? Who is this? And that's really what they should have been saying all along. See, when Jesus says, where is your faith? I think he was trying to say, you're looking at the storm instead of looking at me, and you know who I am. You've seen me feed the hungry, the 5,000, the 4,000. You've seen me raise the dead. You've seen me pledge my love to you. You've seen me do all these things, but you've just forgotten all of them, and you panicked. What you should have done is you should have said, no, wait, we know this about Jesus, that about Jesus. If he's all this, he's not going to we're not going to drown here. And so Jesus is saying, what you're really doing when you panic is not so much showing a lack of faith. You're refusing to exercise the faith that you've got. You're refusing to get out what you know about Jesus Christ. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God incarnate, born in a manger? Do you believe he died on a tree to atone for our sins, that he rose physically from the dead, that he's passed through the heavens, and now he's seated at the right hand of the Father, and he's directing all things that happen in history, and someday he will come back to judge the living and the dead and put everything right? Do you believe that? Then you can face anything. There is no storm here on earth that can stand before those facts. So where is your faith? Get it out. But there's one more thing, I believe. We're not supposed to just see faith as a deliberate action and just get out what we know about Jesus, but we especially have to remember his love for us. Because not in Luke 8, but over in Mark chapter 4, we're told that the disciples also said, Master, don't you care that we're going to drown? You don't love us. And of course, they didn't know yet, but what we know, and that is that on the cross, Jesus Christ experienced the greatest storm possible, the storm of God's wrath, the storm of divine justice coming down. And because he loved us, he just obediently bowed his head into that storm and took it for us. And if I see him loving me that much as to bow his head into that storm, then any other storm that comes along, I will never say, oh Lord, do you not care? I know he cares. So get out your faith. It ought to be here. Remind yourself of not only who Jesus is, but what he did for you.